Good evening. Thank you for choosing Graps TV and the Sicko Show. I'm your host, the Matty Man, and you're viewing live WWE NXT Watch Along show here with us tonight. And so far, we're just waiting on the closing credits on Commercial Warehouse here. Obviously, it's going to come in, probably come in hot for NXT right after this show here, but literally, we're like a minute early. I'd rather be a minute early than on time, late, or any of that, so on and so forth. And of course, we did have a story today. The numbers for Saturday night's main event broke today, and I guess they broke north of 2.3 million after you add the streaming in, which is something I've been saying on this show, on my reviews, pretty much for the last 6.5, 7 months. And now, when Saturday night's main event hit 1.5 million, they're like, but wait, we had 700,000 viewers on Peacock. So going forward, I'm kind of halfway expecting that to be the norm going forward. And of course, now the WWE Open and Splash hitting right about now. So going forward, I would like to kind of see that become a thing. And that's for both shows. I don't care. I want to know what the real numbers are for Raw because I believe a lot of people stream. And I believe a lot of people stream SmackDown, a lot of people stream all the AEW programming, and I believe they stream NXT. You want to know why? I'm streaming it right now across YouTube television. And they are coming to us live from Lowell, Massachusetts, pretty close to Boston, where the other show was last night. We don't have the numbers on that yet, but they had 3 matches, and we are thinking about reviewing that. Never. Our next review is going to be Thursday for AEW Dynamite. I'm going to be doing a live review on Thursday at 1 o'clock. You'll see announcements for it popping up as of Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And at the moment, we have our usual montage of athletes arriving to the location. And of course, all ego Ethan Page looking like he hadn't slept in 6 years, looking like he just threw some stuff on, and so on and so forth. I am to understand that we have an injury, and I got to go back and pull that one up. Hang on one second. Do have one injury to report I can confirm because one of the guys that I consider to be a trusted source, because his information usually checks out pretty easily, and I consider, like I said, I consider him a trusted source. Um, we are looking at NXT's men's main event pictures already in shambles because Wesley got injured yet again. So Wesley is on the injury list right now, so we're not going to be expecting to see him on NXT. And of course, I had to inquire. I'm like, is this from the previous injury or is this a new one? And he hit me up and he's like, no, it's brand new, man. So apparently that happened here recently. And of course, we're opening up with an Ethan Page promo talking about being lost. And then we got Fraxium here, Nathan Frazier and Axiom from last Tuesday as well. So we need to have those recaps. Understood. I mean, I don't get it personally, but apparently they serve value. So here we are. Let's see what we got here. There we go. There we go. I see some stuff getting shared. I appreciate it, guys. Like, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You know how this goes. We've been here before, guys. We've been here before. So yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get this thing popping. See what we got here. Pop that right up to pin. I'm just trying to get everything lined up while they're doing all the promos. I want them to get all the promos out of their system, and let's see what we get going forward here, you know? Let's see here. Do, do, do. Yeah, we're still doing promos here, and we're just finding out that our main event was a setup the whole time. And that kind of leads me to have a thought. I have a thought process about that. My question tonight is, are we going to get the same action out of Jade Cargill, considering this did actually pop ratings? We'll see how it pops ratings tonight. If they do 7,750 on cable, it might be time to have that conversation that maybe Jade did it to herself. You know? I mean, that's one of those things as far as the storyline goes. I'm 100% sure at this point she's injured. Everybody's gone out of their way to let us know she's injured. So, the next thing is to figure out who did it, and I'm wondering if they don't spin it the exact same way. So, it was just a thought. That's my thought for the night. Good evening, Stampede. Glad to see you. Waiting on Catherine to jump in the comment section here shortly. And they're opening up. Obafemi making his way. At least it looked like Obafemi. Yeah, it was. It was Obafemi. Obafemi making his way to the ring right now. Let's see what we get. Obafemi. All right. And of course, you see this great big blob of light behind me here. As soon as I get that all squared away, that's actually that's actually our television neon right there. It does say Grabs TV. I promise it does. I swear it does. But like everything else I've done on this stream so far, it's been trial and error, so on and so forth. So I realize now I got to put a plate over the top of it so that it actually shows correctly. But that's okay. That's okay. At least it's a start. It's an absolute start. I mean, everybody fakes the funk on too many things around here, man. So, I mean, it is what it is. Hey, we're getting up to 6 viewers. Let's see if we can bust 10 before Obafemi busts this guy in half, whoever it is. Let me look at my sheet here and let's see what we're working with, because I've got a sheet for this. Unless I deleted the sheet, which is entirely possible. No, there it is. Let's see here. Obafemi versus Axiom. Okay, so we got Axiom and Obafemi. There he comes. I just wanted to make sure I knew who he was fighting and good stuff here, too. But yeah, we're going to have to start having that conversation now that they use the streaming to bail out Saturday night's main event. I think we're going to need to start having that conversation quite regularly about why in the world they don't use it to bail out some of the other lower numbers out there. Because there are some numbers out there that are bad this week, and I'm 100% sure that we're going to hear about it. So, since we're actually going to hear about it, we might ought to have a conversation about it. I'm just saying, So we have Axiom and Obafemi here, and this is definitely a David versus Goliath matchup, so they've got that part right. And Vic Joseph, Booker T, Sarah Schreiber, and Mike Rome are your announced team for the night. Probably a lot more than 150 pounds. Yeah, it does. I hadn't even thought about that, Stampede. You're absolutely correct. It does remind me of that as well. Now that you said that, see, sometimes that's a beautiful part about this show, and people like, comment, and share. You throw a comment out there that makes things make sense for me. So I'm glad. Yeah, that's a good comment. That's a good call out right there. That's solid. That is absolutely solid. And now they've got Axiom doing the Rey Mysterio thing here. If you don't know what that is, go back and look at some of the Rey Mysterio matches where he was fighting like, I don't know, Paul White. He took a title off Paul White not once but twice in 2 different promotions. Yeah, what you needed to do is make this big man mad. That's a good plan. Maybe he'll make a mistake. Then again, maybe he won't. All righty. Whoa. I guess Oba didn't go over the top rope like everybody thought he would. Yeah, it can be too. And that's, Stampede, that's part of it too. It's like we were having that group chat today. I'm like, no, 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 no. You're not going to Sean Ross Tree sap me to death. You're not going to do that. And guess what? I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but we're already at a commercial break. It's what? Well, it is 10 minutes into the show. Okay. So we had about 6 minutes of promos. We had about 4 actual minutes of wrestling, maybe 3. And here we are back to the commercial breaks here already. Right out the gate. It's all good. And, for the record, because this is holiday weeks right now and everybody's got other stuff going on, I'm not expecting big numbers. So let's just sit back here and have fun. Let's enjoy this stuff like we did when I first started doing streaming. We all sat back and had a blast. Let's do it that way every single time. And I almost guarantee everything's going to be fun. Yeah, I forgot to change out all the Raw stuff, but it's WWE, so it's like, and they didn't put out any good tiles to fit, so let me clear some of this garbage out the way here since we're obviously not on WWE Raw. Yeah, they didn't put out any good match tiles, and by the time I figured out what I was doing for the rest of the day, it was too late. It was time to go to stream. Sometimes I try to go out on the web and find the match tiles and see if I can find them, but because just because they're not on X doesn't mean that they're not out there, you know? Let's see, I'm going to try one more time here, NXT. Let's see what I can dig up here. Yeah, they're starting to do those square ones. I've noticed that. We don't have very many good things to work with here. Save that one. We're getting there. Yeah, and the pickings are pretty slim here too. I just noticed that. Let's see. Wow, we're getting up there now. We're almost to 10. We can make this happen, guys. I know we can make this happen. Let's see here. Hey, they're back. Would you look at that? There we go. Now we got it more NXT ish. Yeah, I got that part. Obviously, Eddie Thorpe. But see, that raises a question. Eddie Thorpe raises a question for me. Because with the Jade Cargill thing going on Raw, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Catherine, happy Tuesday. But yeah, I mean, like the whole Eddie Thorpe thing, since they ran that angle down on NXT here, I've got a feeling they're going to be watching the numbers really close for tonight's show, and maybe they'll even include the streaming numbers. That'll be cool. But anyway, I digress. I think if the Eddie Thorpe Angle takes off on NXT, I swear I think they're going to try it with Jade Cargill. I really do. Fully believe it in my heart of hearts, all the way across the board. Um, I don't see another way to sell that thing. I really don't, because you've got scenarios where, yeah, everybody did it, but we don't know who did it. It would be interesting to find out that Jade did it to herself. Now, other podcasters and other people would probably call that recycling. See, I have always believed that NXT is a great testing ground to test out angle ideas, and they don't do that very often. They run their own set of angles in NXT, and if one of them actually happens to work, they don't translate them up to the main show. And I'm going with, they got a decent crowd out here too, when you look at it for what it is. They have a pretty decent crowd out there tonight too. So let's up this just a little bit. There we go. Let that drown out some of that noise. Yep, huge rainmaker from Oba. As we were talking the other night, they weren't getting those. Oh, CM Punk's in the back of the building? Oh, yeah, he'll be out there on television. He'll be a pop up. He's not playing for the show. But yeah, you can about guarantee if that'll pop ratings, they'll pop him out there. They will definitely drag him out there just for nostalgia's sake. Let's see what we got here. Just checking my news. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Almost, yeah. Oba looking really unhappy now. Uh-oh. Whoa. You've got to be kidding me. If they let, I'm sorry, but if Axiom goes over the top of Oba Femi, that's going to be like a up. Oh, we're at 20. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. There's my numbers coming back. I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. Even if we got 20, I don't care if we got 20 or 200. I'm going to talk to everybody. Axiom working his way up to the top of the top turnbuckle. Looking like he's going to try a missile drop kick out of nowhere. There you go. Don't let him get out the ring, son. Don't let him get out the ring, man. And so much for the golden ratio. Boom. And with a fall from grace, Oba Femi picking up the pin like we knew he would. Now I'm figuring Axiom's going to show up in a body cast for the... Oh, I know she's got a legitimate injury. I know that, Stampede. I'm just wondering if they're going to run that angle like they're running it. If it works out with Eddie Thorpe, I'm wondering if they don't run the same angle with her. And she just goes, I just wanted Christmas off. You know, just if you're going to do a heel turn, that's a good way to do a heel turn. But there again, I don't know anything about creative. Just ask people. I don't know anything about creative. Just ask them. You know? But I could see that one popping really, really good to get her over to heel. To get her to heel status. Get up on the mic and say, nah, I took my own self out. I wanted a Christmas off. Yeah, they did deliver on that one, Stampede. I'm not even going to argue with you on that. I mean, it's not arguable. They actually showed up well for that. I agree. Okay, he said you will call him the new NXT champion. All right, apparently Sol Ruka making her way to the ring. Looking dolled up too, might I add. Sol Ruka making her way to the ring right now. They got to rename that finisher. They really. And Zarya, otherwise known as Delta. I didn't realize Zarya was that short. Of course, to be honest with you, if I'm telling the truth, there, yeah, Jay's not ring ready for a singles run, but then yeah, I agree with you on that. And it looks like they're taking a commercial break here. We'll be right back. I'm going to take it with them here real quick while I set up a couple other things. Hold that thought, Stampede. I'll be right back because that's a great thread to be talking about, too. Give me just like 1 minute here, okay? I'll be right back. Promise. And they're still on commercial break, but everybody's bringing up some good points here, so I just absolutely had to come back. No questions asked, because I like it when we get this chat rate up. I really do. Helps the algorithm, helps everything else, so on and so forth. Um, Ridge Holland is your wild card in that thing, correct? But I'm still kind of with Stampede on this because Stampede and I kind of agree that Eddie Thorpe's probably hitting his ceiling right now. And I hate to say it that way because Eddie's a remarkable wrestler, but I don't know if he's got the look, if you will, to put the NXT title on him. I really don't. And if Sean's thinking, if Sean's really thinking this thing all the way through, having Trick Williams wind up being a 3, 4, 5 time NXT champion really kills his stock heading up north. You know, once you head to the main roster and so on and so forth. I mean, Melo's still trying to get a tread. He's trying to get traction. And I know everybody's saying, "Oh no, 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 you're wrong." And trust me, I'm the exact same way about Karrion Cross, because I really felt like that this could be the run that gets him over to at least an upper mid card, maybe sniffing a title or two. I don't know, but I'm stuck in that same rut too. I agree, but at the same time, when I look at Melo, I mean, you can only run that Andrade match back so many times. And trust me, the best of seven thing, great idea. They tried it, it worked, and it got Andrade some traction, but it didn't get Melo traction yet. Now, that's not to say that he's buried or anything like that. It's just, in my humble opinion, viewing the product as it is right now, today, if you ask me if Melo's in the United States picture, I'd almost chuckle. Yeah, and Ridge shouldn't even be. I am. I have a personal problem with Ridge still being on television at all and not being out on the indies, going out and learning his craft. I really seriously have a problem with them continuing to push him. There is absolutely no way in the world they're going to get ROI out of him. They're not going to get the ROI. They tried it up on the main roster, didn't work out. He hurt E. Apparently, he got Big E out forever. So that was an automatic fan favorite he sent packing. That should have been it right there. But then they send him back down to NXT, and he's been banging around NXT, and he's gotten kind of close to at least the character work aspects of it and at least the promo aspects of it. I'm going to say he's close there. But the in-ring product, he is still not a safe worker. And there will be people who disagree with me on that, and you disagree. That's why we have agreements and disagreements, so on and so forth. Perfectly fine. That's what they're made of. Yeah, Bolton is way more advanced. If they're looking for that build, I agree with you. I totally agree with you on that completely. I honest to goodness could not agree with that opinion any more than I'm agreeing with it right now. And whatever this angle is right here, this just needs to go the fuck away. I mean, like literally. What are we, 5? Okay. I'm sorry. That's all I'm going to say right there. Yeah, I mean, Ridge wasn't safe to work with him to begin with, and they knew that. Yeah. And I'm sure he does feel awful about it. But I honest to God believe in my heart of hearts, because what we're about to see on Friday, by the way, this is the last WWE event I'm covering this week. I'm going to pick it back up on Raw. I am absolutely not covering SmackDown because I'm covering the Ring of Honor pay per view and covering Rampage and then covering Collision on Saturday. So I will not be covering SmackDown. I hope people still show up for the stream. I really do, because it's going to be different. And we're going to have a little bit of fun because Tony Khan doesn't give a shit, quite frankly. So I think I'm going to be able to get away with dropping bombs and so on and so forth. Yeah, nice to have you along, Dev. New viewer. I love it. Or at least I haven't seen you comment. You may have been viewing the whole time, and this is the first time you're commenting, and I love it. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Absolutely. And as Stampede will tell you, as Catherine will tell you, we get into good, engaging conversations here. You know, no negativity. We're all about positivity, the whole 9 yards, and everything else. So, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's just it is what it is, what it is, what it is. Uh-oh. Yeah, you can't do that with Soul Ruka. They definitely now can we all agree? Can we all agree that we need to change the name of Soul Ruka's finisher? We all agree on that? Oh, we're at 30 viewers now. Wow, thank you. So yeah, can we all at least agree on that part of it? Because if that's not, and I'm not one of these woke people at all, but if you're a female and your finishing move on another female is the soul snatcher, knowing what the slang goes along with, can we come up with something different for that, please? At least Randy Orton sounds cool, like RKO, like a Randy knockout. And quite frankly, SKO would be that would be fire, you know. But the Soul Snatcher, for real, is that what we're calling it these days? I mean, that's the only whoa. Boy, that came completely out of left field. Lash is so green. Oh my god. No, 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 no. Well, it has a nice ring to it, but we kind of this is an absolute sink or swim bad booking decision right here. This is getting ready to go down right before your very eyes. Oh my God. Hang on 1 second, guys. I need to spread this one. This is the worst booking decision in WWE history right now. Yeah, so Ruka has a stupid high ceiling, but uh oh. Wrong one here. Daryl's about to lose his shit. Daryl is so about to lose his shit. Damn. Delta and Jordan will work really well together because they have an equal amount of experience. Putting Delta together with Lash Legend in the ring was a booking fuck up of a colossal variety here. Either they're mad at Lash Legend or they don't get it. They think she's actually over. Oh no, Jordan been twerking for WWE now for like, and man, I saw her at WrestleCade, and if Catherine pipes in, yeah, if Catherine pipes in, she'll tell you too. I mean, Jordan was just flat ass twerking for WWE. She's going. I mean, I have no question in my mind if Jordan showed up, if Jordan showed up in AEW, I would actually I'd have to cut the stream off for a minute because I'd be blowing y'all's eardrums out. But absolutely, Jordan's going to WWE without even a question. We're going to get Jordan, and we're going to get Jordan Delta. We're going to get Jordan Stephanie. And we're going to definitely get Jordan and Julia. Julia. Y'all call her Julia. I call her Julia. Because, that's what I got from there. No, we're not going to get Paul. No, and that was almost ludicrous earlier today. Paul Levesque has a pacemaker in. I mean, if he sits down in the chair wrong, he can jar that damn thing loose and die right there in the chair. I don't no what there's not a character developing or even slap happy match that they could have. The only match they could possibly have where Paul comes out of this with absolutely no chance of dying is if they just sat there and had a promo battle. That's the closest you're going to get to Kevin Owens, and that's the closest you're going to get to Triple H in the ring. Period. That's why losing Shane. Yeah, Jordan is really the only right opponent. And now that I will, Dev, I'll agree with you on that in a heartbeat, not even a question. But no, the only thing you're ever going to get out of Triple H, the only thing you're ever going to get out of Triple H going forward right now, if he has even one functional brain cell left in his head, if Triple H has one functioning brain cell in his head, the only thing you're going to get out of him in a ring is a promo. Because seriously, I'm not joking. My ex-father-in-law, I'm still very good friends with my ex-wife and my ex-wife's family. We're all friends. It wasn't a bad breakup or nothing like that. We were just like, what are we doing here, you know? Took me a minute to come around, but I was like, what are we doing? We split up, you know? It is what it is. But my ex father in law has a pacemaker, and they literally have to bring him in every 6 months just to make sure. Just to make sure that nothing's going on. Nah, no, Triple H ain't taking a bump anywhere. Yeah. Oh, I talked directly to Tony Storm. I can't let that one out. We had a really good chop up. We had a good chop session there. Had a good chop session with Mina Shirakawa too at WrestleCade. Turns out she speaks really good English when she wants to. Um, but in all seriousness, yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. One wrong move with the pacemaker, you die. Tony Storm, let me dance around this a little bit because y'all ain't seen the best of it yet. Um, Tony Storm has a wide creative angle or wide amount of creative control, more so even than John Moxley does. Everybody's focused like a bullet on John Moxley right now, and that ain't the one that's got the most creative control over their character. Tony Storm has 100%. Actually, I would go and say, no, actually, I spoke with Tony Storm, and she did the timeless thing, and we got a preview of what you're seeing right now. That happened. That literally happened. We got a peek behind the curtain, if you will. Also with Switchblade Jay White, who, by the way, is a really nice. I think he's going to wind up being like Sabu-ish when he gets older. Just so you know, and God, now Kyle Fletcher, Sky Booty. I'm sorry, Sky Blue. That's Daryl calls her Sky Booty so much that it's just stuck in my head like that. Sky Blue, Kyle Fletcher, and Juice Robinson. Actually, I wish Daryl's killing me with this because he hasn't got it out there yet. I need to text him about that too because it's pissing me off because I really want to talk about part of that conversation because it's fucking hilarious. But I made a promise to him that I would keep it to myself until he broke it on his show. And obviously, he's got a bigger reach than I've got. Plus, he trained me to do what I'm doing right now. So obviously, I'm going to honor that. I'm going to respect that. But whenever he gets the story out, because I gave him my word and I'm keeping my word that nothing's going to leak out. Nothing. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. Yeah, no, that's another thing too. That's a myth. Tony works very closely with her fucking self. Every bit of that is her. Every last drop of, because I heard that too. I heard that too. I don't think that's giving away too much right there. But no, Tony Storm is 100%, like 110% in charge of her creative. I mean, RJ Smart, don't get me wrong, but what she's doing is work that he is. She's like levels, levels. No, I hope not. Pro wrestling, I hope not. I really do. For um, honestly, it would be in Eddie Kingston's best. No, get them. I'm really trying to talk around this match because not only do they have them together in the ring, they're actually getting TV time here. God, she's green as grass. Kick it straight up, straighten him. God, I'm surprised Ari didn't throw her back out trying to pull that move off. Anyway, if Eddie is really smart, if Eddie's really smart, he will go to training. He will utilize the immense, and I have absolutely nothing but, I preface this right now. I have absolutely nothing but 150% respect for Eddie Kingston. But it's over. It's done. And he doesn't have anybody in his ear going, Eddie, it's over. You've gone as far as you can go. You've done what you can do. Because the kind of break that he has, number one, NFL trained athletes do not come back from that in less than a year and a half. We had this conversation the minute that injury happened. Oh my dear God, that just happened. Hang on one second, guys. It's not about pops. It's not about pops. And I'm going to say this because that interview is out now. So I can actually talk openly about that particular one. Um, I assisted with, and by assisted with, I meant I was security for, involuntarily security for, but somebody needed to watch it because that interview was going so beautiful. That interview was fucking beautiful. It was. If you haven't seen it, go to Covalent TV at the, and I'll put it in here so you can see it. And it's at the Covalent TV. Hang on. This is their handle getting ready to pop up here. This is their handle across all platforms. You need to go watch that. You need to go watch that Sabu interview. What I got out of the whole thing, and I didn't say this, but Sabu actually picked up on it because we caught up with each other the next day, and he was still like, "Hey, dude, see at WrestleCade, Jada Parker making her way to the ring." At WrestleCade now, 165 wrestlers that are currently wrestling right now, most of them on your television screens, call me Bowtie Guy. And that was totally by accident. I didn't intend for that. I was coming for a training session. Covalent was actually training me on how to do things, how they do it, because I'm trying to learn. And he said, "Whatever you do, dress up." So I put on a collar. You know, I had a collared shirt, and I didn't feel like tying a tie anymore, so I bought one of those bow ties. I bought a bow tie, one of those that you just clip it together, not a clip on, but a clip around. So I bought one of those. And I figured that would at least make me look very presentable because I got as close to Ric Flair as I am to this monitor right here. So I damn sure better look the role. I got as close to Darby Allen off of his signings and so on and so forth, not even including the signings, as I am to this monitor. So I wanted to look professional. And so I say all this to say that we got back together there, Sabu. I ran into him again in the other rooms because I was working around with Dahlia and Emily J and a few others. I was kicking it around with those. Yeah, me and Sabu, like literally face to face conversation, shook hands, hugged, and he wouldn't have even charged me for. He asked me if I wanted to autograph. I told him no because I thought I ought to pay for it, and he said, "You're a damn fine man, sir." That's exactly it. 'Cause he was going to give me a free autograph, free everything. I mean, he was going to actually sign my shirt, and I was going to hang it up on the wall and say Sabu signed it. But then I got to thinking, I didn't. I had spent so much money I didn't have enough to pay the autograph fee. He was getting like $30, $40, and I wanted to get it. I wanted to pay for it if I'm going to get it. But anyway, I was talking to him, and Sabu is what Eddie Kingston will be if he gets back in the ring. See, Eddie's at a tipping point right now. So, yeah, Eddie's extremely over with the fan base. I get you. But he's at a tipping point physically. And if he works one more year in the shape that he's in right now, he'll look like Abdullah the Butcher, whom I ran into as well. I thought the dude had passed, to be honest. So when I saw him, I went up and shook his hand one more time, like, "Sir, we had a conversation. We chopped up game. We chopped up game for a while." Um, man, if I told you some of the people that I was literally shaking hands with and talking to, blow your mind. Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle is cool as fuck. Seriously. And that's personal experience. Let me weigh this one correctly. Cowboy James Storm is a divine, wonderful, beautiful human being. I will just leave it at that. That conversation started off, he looked at me and I knew who he was, and he didn't know me from Adam. But he looked at me and nodded. He says, "You look like an old time fan." I said, "Yeah, and you look like you need to be riding a cooler." I said, "You look like you need to be riding a cooler." He said, "For sure." And that's how the conversation started. And he politely declined an interview with me and gave me perfectly good reasons for it. And he said that he might watch a couple of my interviews, and if I'm not like the other guys, he might actually give me one. So, but I say all that to say this about Eddie Kingston. I know he's over. I know the fans love him. I know the fans love Bryan Danielson. But I'm ready to see Bryan hang it up. I'm ready to see Bryan use all of that intelligence he's got to make AEW a phenomenal product. That's where I'm at with that. So, in all seriousness, love Eddie Kingston. Might even have an action figure. I don't know. I've got so many of them now. No, I have not spoken to Shawn Michael Hickenbottom, because Michael Hickenbottom doesn't go over very well. I will say that the last time I actually had contact with Shawn Michaels was at a WWE house show in Chapel Hill, North Kakalaki. That was a very long time ago. Leo Rush is one super cool dude. Now, I have not met him yet. We interact occasionally on Twitter and, swap posts once in a blue moon. He'll like something I got, share it, and we get a little bit of convo going in there and so on and so forth. I think he's a phenomenal dude. I think he is the poster child for who you give second chances to. Because he ain't always been the best. And, that's public. I don't know if it's a work or a shoot or, I have seen things like that. We're now finding out that, the Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman Hart thing possibly was a shoot. Or a work. I'm sorry. We're finding out now that that's possibly a work. And I got that firsthand. So if they could do it, yes. Stampede, yes. Yes, that would be good. Meanwhile, Jada Parker getting a piece out of what's her face here, the other darling that shouldn't be in a ring right now. And you shouldn't be within 100 miles of a damn title shot. I can't remember her name right now. It's just after seeing that, oh my God. Anyway, that's going to be something that I'm not going to get over for at least a week. Got you into Capital Collision. Ooh, boy. It, Danielson said he is never going back to WWE, and I believe him. I absolutely, positively believe him. But let's see, backstage gives you Stevie Richards couldn't get heat in the all you could heat contest. Okay? I'm dead serious. Stevie Richards is about as over as a sheet of newspaper that my dog just pissed on. I don't think I don't think uh, I'm going to be honest with you. I see where you're going with that, Dev. I really do. I see exactly where you're going with that, and for that reason I don't disagree with you. And I'll tell you why. It's a funny story, and this one still gets laughs so that we look back on it. So I went to a parochial school growing up. My parents didn't like public school at all, and it wasn't that. It's just that I have a couple of physical issues, and they didn't think I'd do well in public school at that time because I was having a lot of surgery growing up. So I got into basketball. Got into basketball, and I got really good at it. But the principal's kid couldn't play worth a lick, and I was still number 12 out of 12 in the lineup. So he kept pushing me out and pushing me out and pushing me out. Finally, it pissed me off, and I cussed him out. Well, apparently, if you go to a parochial school, um, cussing out the principal of a Christian school is a bad idea. I did not know this. So, um, anyway, so I got banished, expelled, so to speak, and had to go to public school anyway. Well, I got to public school and they said I couldn't play basketball because I was having too much surgery. So, anyway, long story short, I started being the videographer for a high school basketball team, and no one was doing that. No one in the entire area was doing that. So I started doing that, and I said, "You think that's good enough to get me on the team?" You know, because I wanted to be on the basketball team, damn it. And so they're like, "Yeah." And apparently you get a letter for that. So fast forward all the way through, I went to church at the same place I went to school. So we had a summer trip, and I show up on the bus with my Letterman's jacket anyway. So for that reason, Dev, I told you that to tell you this. And Jada Parker picks up the win. So for that exact reason, Dev, is why I would agree with you. Because I think of all the people that have left WWE that deserve to go back to the promotion with a Brock Lesnar like walk, Bryan Danielson. He was good when he went to WWE. He was good in WWE. He is one of exactly 3 wrestlers in the history of WWE that got over organically in spite of the company. Because that's just not something you do. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a criticism. It's observable fact. The minute you start getting over organically in WWE, they bury you. Watch. Watch it through that lens. So, for that exact reason right there, I would absolutely agree with Devin. That's why I'm standing on it. I gave you that story to say that I still wound up going back to church with the letter jacket on. They didn't stop me from getting a letter, you know? And for that reason, I would like to see Danielson hit that thing one more time. And you know what? I'd like to see him do it with the AEW World Heavyweight Championship on his t-shirt. Because that would be the exact thing right there. That's the reason. I think it would be hilarious. I think it would be a shot heard around the world in the world of wrestling. I think it would kick off a wrestling war. And that's good for professional wrestling. WCW, WWF, best feud ever. Ever. And I dare anybody to disagree with that. Because I 100% stand on that theory right there. Fans are getting hyped for the Penta thing. Yes, I agree. Yeah, they are getting hyped for it. And we've got the faction back here. I forget what the name of it is. I get lost in these conversations. You guys come up with some great comments, man. I love this. There's not a bad comment in the bunch. Yeah, and I agree, Dev. At the end of I watched that whole series too. He said, never say never. But I'm just saying, if you ask me, yeah, I would like to see him go in there. I would, for that exact reason. Because I would like for him to go. In fact, you know what? If they'd let him have a copy of his ROH title, I'd bring that damn thing with me too. And I'd bring a copy of the NWA World Heavyweight title with me too. I'd walk in there belted up like Kenny fucking Omega. Yeah, put me in that thing. Because WWE, on the end of his run, just shit all over him. You know, and that's fact. That Miz thing was not a work. That was a shoot. That's why Danielson or Daniel Bryan at the time, that's why he lost his shit on the show. Because that wasn't a work. That was a shoot. That whole thing was a shoot. You know? Pro wrestling, I'm going to hold off on that comment for a lot of reasons. I know how it's going to end. I could almost draw you a picture of how it's going to end now because they've already shown us how it's going to end. You've already been tipped off. The Motor City Machine Guns was your great big ass red flag, all of you independent wrestlers. Because I know there's 5 of you watching it right now. I can see you. But if Motor City Machine Guns was not the great big ass wake up call for every single person out there twerking for WWE right now, if that was not a wake up call for you, nothing is. I'm dead serious about that. I stand on that. I absolutely stand on that. I'll die on that hill. Penta should, if they've got enough. See, here's where WWE fucks it all up. And this is not, once again, this is not criticism. This is observable fact. They have enough lucha capable wrestlers in that building right now. And they still got Rey Mysterio for at least 2-3 more years because they're working him sparingly. WWE, if they really wanted to turn the screws up, if they really wanted to turn the heat up in the business, they put all them people together and had their own little lucha group. You know? Think about that for a minute. Let that sink in. You know? If they spent a percentage not even 10% of the energy they're putting into the bloodline storyline right now. If they spent 10% of that energy and said, hey, Ray, come here a minute, man, you want a legacy here? Do this. Think how good CMLL and AAA would have to be to compete with that. For all of us that appreciate other things than WWE, let that sink in for about 5 seconds. So let that one sink in because they've got it. And they've got enough females to pull it off too. With the ones coming in up from NXT and the ones they already got. Think about that for a minute. You know? Yeah. And just in case you didn't know, on January 6th of next year, just in case you didn't know, WWE Raw is going to be on Netflix. Breaking news. Let's see here. But see, that's what I'm trying to tell you, Pro. Ray knows Lucha. They limit Ray. They limit Ray a lot. You know? Yeah, they hadn't figured that part out yet either, Stampy. That's what I'm trying to say. If they really actually cared about being diverse in professional wrestling, I mean, look at what you got. They've even got a handful of combat fighters now. Huh? I'm going to tell you right now, Bloodsport is... I'll tell you this right now. Bloodsport on Triller is their second highest grossing viewership right now. And GCW is not higher than that. Right now, Tommy Dreamer's little stuff's peeking out over there. WWE could actually tap into that vein. And you could actually have serious combat sport when they go over to Netflix. Because they're doing it on free TV right now. So if they're not afraid to do it on free TV right now, and Netflix bought them watching that, wouldn't that make some sense here, guys? Just thinking out loud, you know? Let's see where we're at here now. We're running progressive commercials. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Stampede. A lot of people are just not aware that, you know, that stuff they're calling flippy shit is pretty much how the rest of the world does it. I mean, I will tell you right now, I'm getting ready to do an interview with a wrestler from Progress, and I'm very proud of that. I earned it. I earned it, and I'm very proud of the interview that I have obtained. And when I drop that one, that's going to be a big deal. I started to do a Patreon page, but I was like, fuck it. I haven't been charging for content because I just don't feel like I got content to charge for. But yeah, this right here, this is going to be free. All of them are going to be free. I'm not going to put them behind a paywall. All I ask is that you like them or watch them and share them. That's all I care about. I'm not charging for it. I just want to get the word out because I kind of feel like that I could do interviews just as well now as I do the review shows. So it's time. It's time for that. Bloodsport is a super enjoyable show, especially when you find out that Carmen Petrovic has got chops you hadn't seen yet. And see, I make fun of a lot of stuff that goes on in NXT because it's laughable. Like the whole concept of having Lash Legend going one-on-one in the ring with Delta. Are you serious? On what fucking planet does that work? You know? But I saw Carmen Petrovic do some stuff in that ring with the regular wrestlers like that, and she had some of that vibe. So, yeah. That's the best part about Bloodsport. It's the way Josh Barnett puts that thing together, oh my God. And if you missed the Josh Barnett MVP match, when that thing hits YouTube, you need to watch that shit. Seriously. Me and Tommy probably wouldn't get along very well. I'll just tell you that right now. Yeah, there's a few things I got a problem with him on, and I just rather not. Same thing with Bully. Me and Bully don't get along. We publicly don't get along. So I just quashed the beef by just not talking about it. But see, when you get a beef with Bully, you automatically get a beef with Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, and apparently fucking Thunder Rosa. So that'll be a story one of these days when I calm down just a little bit. I may have to break out here because that one right there still pisses me off. But yeah, so apparently when you get, oh my God, they got Axiom coming out here looking like he done been mugged. Oh my Lord. Can we put him in a body cast? I mean, shit, this just don't give me enough sympathy vibes, guys. They did this last week. That's the only reason I'm saying something like this here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, to answer your question, Pro, no, me and Tommy Dreamer probably will not get along. I got that vibe from all of Busted Open. I got it. I got that vibe from the entirety of Busted Open. You know what? Mercedes Monet. Please, for the love of God, be this episode. Mercedes Monet. I'm not even glazing when I say that New Japan match I just saw. There was levels to that thing, and I kind of felt like if they'd have given 5 more minutes, if this is where the booker fucks up. This is where the booker totally fucks up because you could have taken time back from a couple of those matches. You could have banked at least 2-3 minutes out of those matches. Y'all getting a review right now too. So the only problem I had with that pay-per-view, it was off the chain, but the booker was tone deaf. Whoever booked that thing was tone deaf. Britt Baker, don't even get me started on that hoe. I mean, woman. Don't even get me started on her. Oh my God, they got a face mask on. Oh, geez. What are they going to do? Have them crutch out next week? I'm asking. I'm seriously asking that question. I mean, are they going to have them coming out in wheelchairs? Are they going to have to hop off a gurney and do a match? I mean, come on. Now, I do understand Nathan Frazier's got a legit injury because I saw that pop and I seen the blood flying out of his nose. I think he did. That's a legit injury. I'm buying that. But seriously, the bandage, are we doing this now? Is this what we're doing? I mean, yeah, I hear she's free. That shit y'all saw on television about Adam Cole talking about, oh yeah, we talk. No, they don't. No, they most certainly fucking do not. And I got that firsthand too. Well, secondhand technically. That came up in a conversation. So, I'm going to tell you right now, Adam Cole's got a tell. Adam Cole cannot play poker. I will tell you that right now. I would love to play poker with Adam Cole. Adam Cole has a tail. He half smirks when he's lying. Very solid Stampede. Very solid. Very solid. And see, this is what I like about having these numbers on the watch along. Man, we're having a good time. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to adjust the camera and see if I can make my sign actually show up. Nah, it's still not coming in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's not a rumor, pro. Yeah. Yeah, that's not a rumor at all. Not even a little bit. And behind the scenes, she's twerking for WWE too. And here's a hot scoop. They'll give her 150,000 and however many fucking t-shirts you can sell. Have a good day. That's exactly how that one's gonna go. Oh, one other thing too. Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn is one cool son bitch. That's all I got to say. Billy Gunn, absolute cool dude. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. Pro, that ain't it. It's in the circle, but it's one of those things where there's just a couple of sprinkles of truth in it, and the rest of it is hyperbole and supposition. That ain't it. Nah. Um, Britt Baker has traded her entire career at this point on being an original. And that was good. That was good year 1, year 2, halfway through year 3. That worked. But the problem is everybody else around her got better. So instead of getting better, like most people should, she used what little bit of clout she had being an original to push a few other people out of spots. So, yeah. Billy Gunn doesn't get enough credit for the fact that he is 70 damn years old. And still parties like a rock star. Not overly drinking or anything like that, but he can be the life of a party at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. And he's 70 years old. Yeah, apparently they're working the kayfabe thing here with the shoulder. He might be hurt. I'm going to let that go because he might actually be hurt. Maybe he got hurt. Who knows? Oops. That's going to hurt. There we go. All right. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about here. Axiom is probably going to win this match. Like here in about another minute and a half. Because, no, wait a minute. They can actually run this match for another 6 minutes. No, never mind. They're not going to. Timing wise, though, how many matches we have now? Two. No, they got time. Yeah, they got 2 more matches. Yeah, they got to wrap this one up. because that's not going to leave them enough time for the 16 commercials we're going to get in the minute in the 6.5 minutes of promos. And once again, that's not criticism. That's observable fact. You know? That's the thing people have a hard time with. If I criticize something, I'm going to say right up front, this is a criticism. You know, if something is observable and it's bad, that's not criticism. It's observable. There's a big difference. We lost sight of that a long time ago. Let's see. Britt Baker is no longer. Yeah, Britt Baker, she's got nothing. I mean, the people that she could work with that would make her better don't want to work with her. And the ones that she gets absolutely no ROI out of, she doesn't want to work with. Billy Gunn's 61. I thought he was 70. Damn, I could have sworn he was 70. But anyway, still, he don't get enough credit for being that old and not looking that old. You know? And he's a cool ass dude too, man. Seriously. I mean, I reached out to shake hands with James Storm. Because him and James Storm were hanging out for the event. They were scouting Zilla. And I have a feeling that I have a feeling that Billy Gunn was scouting Zilla for AEW. I have a serious feeling that's what happened. I don't know who Storm would be scouting for, but considering that they were swapping thoughts. So, I mean, they were swapping thoughts about the match, and I was blessed enough to be sitting there. You know, they just. It was a good conversation, but I'm just saying he doesn't get enough credit for his actual wrestling knowledge because he's always been a clown everywhere. And by clown, I don't mean bad. I mean, he's just always been the funny guy. Even when they were heels, you laughed at them, you know? Because they were funny. Oops, yeah, this is where they do the come from behind part here. But yeah, I know Nathan Frazier's legit hurt. That I do know. That was real blood. That wouldn't catch him. So, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing sometimes. Nathan Frazier with a spinning kick here. Oop, there we go. Uh-oh. Actually, I talked to Zilla. That's somebody else. I'm happy to say I did land an interview with Zilla Fatu. And yes, he still he likes WWE, and I'm going to leave it at that because some of the stuff we talked about I don't repeat. But the one thing that I did get out of the conversation with Zilla is he can go to WWE, and let's see, they've got 4 on one side, 3 on another. So that's 7. Then when you count the women, that's 9. Because Naomi's part of that whole mix too. Hikulea's coming up. They're gonna call him Talatonga, which is gonna be funny as hell to me. So yeah, they're gonna pick up the win here in just a second. Yeah, they did pick up the win. I just sorry about that, guys. I got caught up talking about that. But what I gathered talking to Zilla is that he is still heavily weighing his options because you can either be one of 15 with that energy, or you can be one of one. Link up with Bishop Khan and Taoloa, and you can still do that hog GCW trash wrestling style. on a national stage. Are you kidding? Sign me the fuck up. You know? You know what? Fraxium, I wouldn't even be mad at that either. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't even be mad about that because they have definitely sold. They have sold, and in some cases, sold better than they've been sold back to this entire year. That's, I mean, I'm a little bit, I'm in a really good mood tonight, and I'm like a little bit sarcastic. So just don't hold all that against me. I'm just, this is me, okay? I like the product. You know, it's like I told somebody today when they were sitting there challenging whether or not I was this, that, or the other. I felt it coming anyway. So I just get right out in front of it and I just say, look, I like the talent. There are many of them that I enjoy interacting with because they're nice enough to interact back with me. And I got a voice message from one of them just the other day. So, I mean, I enjoy the talent. I really do enjoy this talent. The only thing I got really, really upset about was that whole Delta and Lash thing because Delta's got a Delta's got a real future, and I just don't want to see her get messed up by somebody who's green, you know, because she's coming off of the indie scene, trying to break into the WWE way of doing things. We don't need her getting hurt, you know. She's got a lot of future ahead of her. I just don't want to see her get hurt working green people. I just don't know. But anyway, Fraxium has sold. Yeah, sarcasm's kind of my thing too sometimes, especially tonight, man. I'm on top of the world, man. I really am. Got some good interviews coming up. I'm jazzed. This thing's actually starting to work, you know? So it's like I'm actually starting to kind of get over. And that's cool. You know, it's one of those moments. But I think if they keep them together like that, they bring them up to the main roster together. I think they should work a lot with DIY because I think they would have benefited more if they had left DIY down in NXT to teach them because they're going to have to work like that. You know, they're not going to grow anymore. They can get wider, but they can't get taller. Okay. But anyway, we were talking about Zilla and all that, but yeah, suffice it to say, he's not 100% lock. That's why they haven't ID'd him. Because you would have thought when they came out with the WWE ID plan, that was the first, at least the first five. He might not have been number one, but he had to have been in the top five. At least before Marshall Mathers, for God's sakes. Love the guy to death, but he ain't Zilla. Okay? That give you any idea about Zilla, where his head's at right now. And in fact, the fact that he hasn't been ID'd yet is probably a bad thing too. And I do find NXT to be the more entertaining show, and I find NXT to at least give me the impression I'm getting half of it is wrestling. At least they are allowing me to suspend my disbelief on that. Well, Shawn Michaels, it's going to be an unpopular take. This is going to be very unpopular take. If Triple H is not dating and then marrying the boss's daughter, I mean, Shawn Michaels probably would have wound up inheriting creative because Shawn gets it. I mean, NXT, in my opinion, even though they call it the development show when it's down in ratings to AEW, and then it's just another brand when it's up over AEW. If you notice that, pay attention. Um, I find NXT to be way more entertaining than both of the shows. I'm not into this bloodline thing anymore. The bloodline thing was cool for the first 1, 2, 3 years. But that stuff has a shelf life to me. If it gets so predictable that I can look 5 cards down and figure out where the title's going to be, I have a problem with that. I really do. See, the thing that intrigues me about AEW is I can't do that because Tony is just so chaotic with his booking. I can see patterns, but I can't see defined patterns enough. There's some things that are obvious, you know? I will at some point in time, but I'm getting back into the cards now because I'm actually seeing where the value's at in collectibles, and I think it's in the cards. No pun intended. But yeah, but I mean, what was I even talking about? See, I lost my train of thought here. Shawn Michaels, I was on that. I think he would have been. I think he would have been the booker because Triple H is great at being part of the direction. NXT Black and Gold turned out to be really good for one reason and one reason alone is because he rated ROH and he rated a couple of key indies and took their talent. Black and Gold wound up being successful exactly for that reason. And you had a bunch of seasoned independents. This Ethan Page thing here now starting to look laughable because they're giving him the broke Corbin character right now. In case y'all haven't noticed, he's getting ready to phase through the Corbin stages now. So NXT's women's scene right now is the only reason I do a watch along for it. But the main reason I'm not doing the SmackDown one is because somebody's already spilled the beans to me and I already know how the matches are going to end and I don't want to watch them. Because I would give an absolute horrible show if I watched something that I already knew the results about. The reason I actively avoid that is so that I can do these shows and actually have real moments. Like we're having conversations now. I marked out for Tony Storm. Yeah, I did. Catherine will tell you about it. She said she thought it was cute and funny. I literally marked out for it. I didn't know she was popping out. But yeah, that's exactly it. NXT was our black and gold was ROH with money. That's exactly what it was. And there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, what is he good pitching about now? I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. I want to talk to my wife. This could actually be handled at your home, dude. Sad Ethan broke it. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I'm thinking right now, Stampede. Oh my dear God. Final battle is this Friday. That's what I keep telling myself, Stampede. That's exactly what I keep telling myself right now. Because whatever they thought this ain't that. Okay? This ain't that. And I really wanted to see Ethan Page. Yeah, I really want to see Ethan Page. I want to see him succeed because this is it for him. Because he glazed WWE so hard. And Tony Khan is starting to be a boss. You know? I've just lost my smile. Oh my God. I hope this works. Oh my God, they're giving him Corbin stuff. Yeah, I want to come out here and apologize for this promo. Give me one more second, guys. I'm just shooting off some news here. Anyway, oh my goodness. Yeah. Tell him about it, man. Anyway. Oh Lord, final battle is this Friday. Yes. Yes it is. It is this Friday. And we're going to have a palate cleanse after this. I'm kind of hoping that happens on Dynamite cuz I got a feeling that card's going to deliver. I have a feeling that card is going to deliver. I really do. I've got a feeling. I just do. I don't know. I'm feeling the energy. I'm feeling the energy in the tweets. I'm feeling the energy on Facebook. Seriously, I'm feeling like at this point in time, Wednesday night could be an epic show, and it's going to be followed up by final battle on Friday, and then after that, we're going to get that collision with Will Ospreay and Ricochet. That energy is real. That energy is totally, yeah, that energy is real, man. Seriously. I'm thinking we're going to get some inspired cards. We have sad Corbin, and he not so bouncy anymore. Yeah. Oh boy. Actually, I take all that back. This might actually go over right here. Oh my good God. Wow. Wow. Y'all, I gotta admit something here. I gotta honestly admit something. And I hate that I gotta fucking admit this too. That caught me off guard. I did not see that coming. I did not see that presentation coming. You know why? Because it's 9:30 and not 10 o'clock. If it were 10 o'clock, I could see that coming. Damn, that was actually good. That was a good thing. See, now I don't always criticize WWE. I have good things to say too. See, I do. But I did not see that coming. I gotta say, I did not see that coming. Walk with me on this, guys. They're in the middle of a commercial break here. Now, walk with me with this. Tell me this wouldn't pop. Tell me this wouldn't pop right here. They come back from commercial break. Shawn Michaels is standing in the middle of the ring. Blood spatters all over the ring. With a ladies and gentlemen, due to unforeseen circumstances, we're going to have to stop this show right now. We apologize. We'll see you next week. Now tell me right now that wouldn't hit. And then just run the rest of the time here. We got 24 minutes. Just run the rest of the time with some best of stuff of NXT. You know, just some best of hot moments. Now, if you're going to run an angle like that, that's how you run that angle. Now, tell me that wouldn't get your attention. In all seriousness. Real talk. I mean, seriously. Yeah, I mean, you knew he was going to do that, but I swear, I've been kind of not as invested in Ethan Page, and when I just noticed they were giving him the Corbin thing, that kind of made me a whole lot less engaged, and I was less invested. So I'm going to tell you, I did not see that coming. So shout out to him for pulling me right back. I mean, dead serious. Now I'm actually interested in this thing. I really am. And that's not glazing and that's not being a hypocrite. That's actually something, I will say that right now. That's something WWE finally did that got me interested. Now, it might not get anybody else interested, but it hit me. It did. They struck a chord. As Bully would say, much as I hate that he said that. But yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, I can give people praise. That's why I feel like I can criticize. Because I'm the first person to give somebody praise too. You know, that was a good segment for me. Not gonna kid. That was a good segment. See what we got coming up here now. Lowell, Massachusetts. Got Paul Revere, I think that would be. And we're also finding out that if I do 3 streams in a row, my voice gets a little bit tired. Sorry about that, guys. I'll do better next time. My bad. Let's see. See, that's what I'm saying right now. If they stop the show right now and said, we'll do this thing first thing on the next show, you'll get it first thing on the next show and we'll give y'all some of your money back or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Really sell that. I mean, seriously, sell that. That would make them edgy. That would make them at least a little bit cutting edge. I mean, and no, I don't have a problem with him being in there. And I don't criticize the talent at all. I don't put anything that I see. Now, I will say this. I'll take that back. I do criticize Orange Cassidy because I'm tired of his gimmick. I've been tired of his gimmick, and it's, to me, it's old, it's played out. Same thing with the Acclaimed. I think they need to split up. Caster needs to go figure himself out, and the other dude needs to go on and win a title. You know, those I actively. That's just how I feel about it. But no, I will never. No, I don't criticize talent because I don't believe anything is the talent's fault. Yes, thank you. I will definitely get some of that in the morning. But and in fact, I haven't even went back and checked yet to see if Disco's blocked me yet or not. But he made a comment that was very derogatory towards talent. Yeah. OC is going to be, yeah. And at that immediate moment, Tony Khan will have figured out it'd be, you'll hear it in the background of the YouTube. It was at this point in time he knew he fucked up. That's exactly what's going to be playing in the background for the next 6 months. Guarantee it. They'll have that title change happening, and they'll put a picture of Tony right up in the corner of it, and you'll get that old thing. It was at this point he knew he fucked up. You're going to get that. I like Orange Cassidy. I don't like him in the title picture. But no, his stuff is getting really old with me. And even when I discussed it very politely with Danhausen, he actually got it. And he said, I'm working on some new stuff. I swear. I said, I liked you at first. I said, but he just never developed past that, And I said, you kind of lost me, And I'm hard to lose because I grew up in NWA where every angle took 3 months. Some good angles took up to 2 years to pull off. You didn't get a payoff on some of the angles in NWA. The Dusty Rhodes title payoff was 2 years in the making by itself, So, I mean, I'm very patient with people because I came from a time and an era when you had to be patient. You didn't have a choice because there wasn't anything else to watch. You didn't have competition. Everybody stayed in their own territories. So, yeah, I don't think he's. I have a feeling, with good reason. I have a feeling with good reason that when the dust settles in that match, because of the destinations they've got coming up, if Tony Khan thinks ahead, he has an opportunity to put that title on Switchblade Jay White, and then he'll have to go to a bigger venue in Australia. I believe if he puts the title on Jay White going into the Australia show, I'm sorry, my voice is a little sore and it's kind of affecting my thoughts here. Grand Slam in Australia. If he's got foresight at World's End, he puts the title on Jay White. And I stand on that. I'm not budging 1 inch off of that. Because if he makes that title move right there, I think that one title flip fills the stadium and they have to explore going to a bigger venue. I really believe in my heart of hearts that's the way. Now, if he doesn't do that, it's not my building, it's not my business. This is just speculation. But if he puts the title on Jay White at World's End, that would be the best move for business ever. Because I think they'd sell out. I think they'd sell out automatically and he could hold on to that. Let's see what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, that's, in all honesty, I do find him. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I just don't think he's the guy to be in this position at this moment. If they want to take a chance with him a year or two from now, I'm good with that. Once they're firmly entrenched in this new deal, once they've got the new deal, they've run some good shows, they've got ROI, the people are peopling, because that's a whole nother conversation. We talk about ratings and attendance. The conversation that no one has about this is that the reason Fox didn't fight so hard to get WWE is because they weren't getting residual customers out of WWE. You know, yeah, I mean Jay's a grand slammer, so he can handle that spot. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they just it's it's hard for me to see Orange in that picture right now because I don't think he's the right guy to carry the title over. I think he needs to either peel back a few layers and give us a little bit more of a Moxley look for a little while. I mean, he can still do the hands in the pocket thing every once in a while. That's cool. But even Daniel Garcia stopped doing that stupid fucking dance. You know? When you think about it, here comes Trick Williams, by the way. I'm sorry. This is supposed to actually be watching the show, too. Whoops, my bad. See, I interact. You drop the comments, we talk. If I sound like an idiot to somebody, they get to clip it, and it's great. You know, it's awesome. I don't care. If y'all think I take myself this seriously, I don't, trust me. I mean, I'm appreciative of everything and all that, but I don't take myself that seriously at all. So if I did, I certainly wouldn't be doing this. But I will disagree about. I mean, yeah, I'm conflicted over it. But if I'm doing what's best for business, if I want to have me some bragging rights here, because y'all know WWE didn't sell out their show, and that was with Rhea Ripley on the card. They didn't sell it out. So if he sells out what he's got and he actually has to go allocate more space, are you serious? That would be good. That would send a signal. That would send a wake up call. And that would probably translate into All in all seriousness. And I've had this on my mind all night. I'm just thinking right here. I think Trick goes over in this, but it would have made more sense for Eddie Thorpe to actually profit from this angle. So I really think for what's better for business on that one is if Eddie Thorpe goes over, but I don't think it's going to happen. Because I see a really cool ass angle coming out of that if they'd let him go over. Telling you, man, it's got a good feeling to it. That's what I'm saying. If I'm booking this match right now, it's got a look to it that it could work. He could actually make Trick look good on this one. See, I don't think Trick's that bad a wrestler. I just think the men's division is that bad. And he has a hard time getting good minutes and looking good when everybody else sucks. There we go. There we go. Doing that heel dive. Uh 40 is apparently not that old in this business anymore if you do it right. Eddie Thorpe is actually going to carry him to a passable match. See, it can be done. It can actually be done. This is a good looking match. I'm not lying. I'm not glazing it either. This is actually what I thought Trick could do if he had somebody in the ring that could work. Let me see if I can adjust this camera one more time. I'm going to try to see if I can get y'all to see this sign because it's bugging me. I'll be right back in just a second here. All right, let's see if this works. Of course not. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I won't do that anymore, guys. I'll just figure it out. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. The problem is, and this discussion was had ad nauseum, by the way. I'm not speaking out of my ass on this at all. When I say the old timers, Ricky Morton and I chopped up game, and he don't mind if I talk, and it's not part of anybody else's stuff, so I ain't got to worry about that. So Ricky Morton, who's old as dirt too, um, teamed up with George South to go against. Y'all knew him as Jinder Mahal, and I forget who Jinder teamed with on that. Maybe if Catherine thinks of it, she can tell me. But I ran into Ricky Morton before the match. He was coming down for the stuff, and I told him, I said, you know what, just go. He looked at me and said, "What do you think about the match today?" I said, I think you just need to go out there and have fun and show them guys that even us old farts can do this stuff, and they need to learn it anyway. And he just kind of smiled and he said, "Thank you, brother," and turned right around and he went right out there and did exactly what I said. Because the problem is these older folks now, the ones that are in their 40s and whatever else, they're gatekeeping. They're not passing this knowledge down. And I really honestly do not believe CM Punk is giving that great of advice. That's just me personally now. That's a personal take on it. I think he has other motives. But the older folks now are not passing down the knowledge that was passed down to them, either in the ring and whatever. And Calloway said this, Undertaker. He said that was one of the problems that they had in the business. He had knowledge passed down to him that's invaluable. You got to hear him talk about that Bruiser Brody match. The one when he was just plain old Mark Calloway. Anyway, Bruiser Brody taught him a whole lot in that one match, and that's one of the things he said he was always grateful for, that he learned from Bruiser Brody. And they're just not doing that now. Undertaker passed down knowledge, and the ones he passed it down to, they retained it, but they're not passing it down. So that's the problem. And I mean, that's what winds up happening. You wind up happening with a Jericho. That's how these things come to be. And if we're really being honest, even amongst the roster right now, Drew McIntyre wouldn't be back as fast if Bronson Reed hadn't hurt himself. They're not working smarter out there. And I do believe the bar's getting pushed a little bit. I believe that we're going through a phase right now where the wrestler has to do more and more, and they're getting less and less out of it. See, a lot of things you'll never really hear me criticize wrestlers. There's a couple of them I do criticize, which we just did. But I don't criticize them. I ask who's your agent and who's the booker, because they're just doing what's in the, if we're talking about it for what it is, they're just doing what's laid out on the storyboard and in the script. This is the time, this is your time, this is what we need to see, this is where it's going to start, and so on and so forth. Texas Red? I thought it was Bruiser Brody. Down in World Class Championship Wrestling. Otherwise, I wasted a trip to Dallas for nothing. Because that's one of my very fondest memories. Was I was actually at that match, and then I heard him talking about it with Steve Austin. So I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but that's. And I was just thinking to myself, that was a good memory that I had, because we were doing some work out there, and Dad actually, we had a shot to go to the Sportatorium, and Dad's like, "We're going," And yeah, I was actually at that match. It's one of those things I actually got to see live. So I felt kind of blessed on that. I could be wrong, though. Yeah. Yeah, they do. They do. They actually do. And right now, Eddie Thorpe's doing a good example of that right now. He's doing him some business right here. I should turn on so I could hear Booker say that. Not enough for 3. Excuse me. Occasionally, Booker will drop character and actually use terms. So I was just thinking maybe Booker would have said he's doing some business right now. There we go. Yeah, good backflip there. I know the guys, they just, and it's starting to filter over to the women too. I'm noticing that. I'm noticing, like I just said tonight, right there, Delta worked that, and they shouldn't have been within 100 miles of each other. And I'm not saying that. I'm not. Lash can be good. I do actually see talent potential there. I'm getting the China vibe out of her, something like that. I'm getting that vibe. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm just the only one getting it that way. But it's like not right now. That's just it. I didn't think But yeah, Eddie's actually working this match pretty good. Who you got in this, Stampede? Because we're getting close to the end. Who you got winning? Right, he was Texas Red in that. Yeah, I remember. That's why I thought I was right about that. I thought I was like, man, I just misread what you said. That's all. It's my bad. My bad. Yeah, I just misread it. Yep. Uh-oh. Ah, here we go. The ref spot. Yeah. That's how this is going to go down. 1, 2, 27, 99. Oh, are we going to have a double ref spot in this one? That's the question. Trick shot. Y'all seen the hook there, didn't you? Yeah. Y'all seen the hook, though, right? Y'all seen the hook. Here we go. Yeah, here's the hook. We got a double pin. And if you pay attention now, Eddie Thorpe's leg is under the rope. They're trying to get the camera away so you can't see it now. There's the hook. We don't have a champion. Anyway. Now I do like that. I know. I'm with you. Yep. So seriously, I good look out for the hook. I like that. Overall, what do you guys give the show? What do you guys give the show tonight? I'm looking at um from a fan perspective. From a fan perspective, I'd give it pass. It was a passable show. Now, from an analytical perspective, I got problems, but that's another show, another time, and another way. Um, but yeah, overall, that's that. Yeah, yeah, LOL. But for right now, yeah, executive producer Paul. I don't want any attention, Levesque. Yeah, yeah, and I don't see color either. That's my favorite. That's my favorite dumb euphemism because there's more. This was just a really good one. Um, yeah, see, I enjoy the talent. I enjoy watching them perform. I rage against the machine, the actual machine, because I know where blame goes. You know, 6 out of 10, I could buy that. Like I said, I give it a pass. Tonight's a pass, and the main thing was Javon Evans getting his jaw broken. Apparently, that's what we're supposed to believe, and it looks like it might have actually happened. Um, um, yeah, that part of it being out of nowhere, I think we're going to find out that yeah, this might actually be a real injury here. That's I'm hoping he's okay. I'm hoping it's a work. I really am, and if it's a work, it was a damn good work. Yeah, fair rating, fair rating. That's what I'm saying. It's passable. But if they do something with that Javon Evans angle, or if they do something with that ending of that angle and they can translate it into the next show, then it will be better than passable. That's just it. If I'm looking at it from a WWE perspective. But anyway, guys and gals, and all points in between. Because well, yeah, we really just have a good time here. I'm not judgmental. Try not to be anyway. Sometimes I may come off as that, and if I do, I apologize. But this is always fun. It's a good release. It's good relax. You guys helped me. I hope I helped you tonight. Otherwise, though, I'm about to lose my voice, so I better get off here so I actually have some voice so I can actually do a job tomorrow. But y'all have a good evening. Thanks for hanging out tonight. This has been Grabs TV and the Sicko Show. I've been your host, the Matty Man. Just want to say good night, God bless, and good night, America, wherever you are. Take care.